Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and everyone's been asking for an update to the Ecomi roadmap and price prediction that I did a while back, so I've taken quite a few days to work on the content and consider the possibilities and want to share my thoughts on some recent events as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but definitely not a financial advisor. Now let's address the first big news. Goodbye GoChain and hello Immutable X. When I first saw this, I was immediately excited about the move because I'm very familiar with Immutable since I followed their growth originally as a Gods Unchained player and then kept following their growth through added partnerships. Now, several other OMI YouTubers have covered what they know about Immutable, so I won't spend a ton of time on it, but I will cover why this is a smarter move than just moving to like Matic or some other exchange. Before we get into it though, Trevor and Reese mentioned a Gods Unchained tournament on Twitter, which all I have to say is bring it on. I'm gonna start playing again and leveling my deck up and will be ready to snipe you plebes. If anyone wants to check out the game, it's extremely addictive. You can look me up on it. My name on it is Shadow_Jacker, so Shadow Jacker. Bonus points if you know what show that's from. So Gods Unchained also use Immutable X. They're actually one of the first large projects that use NFTs on Immutable X. Gods Unchained is basically like Magic the Gathering, which I used to play and love, still have my cards, had a baby with RuneScape. I believe there's a referral code you can use that gives you like a discount in the store or something like that for packs. So I'll post that in the details of this video. So let's start off, what is Immutable X? Many are not familiar with it. So Immutable X is a layer 2 protocol built on Ethereum to facilitate scaling solutions for NFTs. The protocol boasts many advantages for both users of the NFT marketplace, Immutable X exchange, plus artists selling their NFTs. Moreover, as the project doesn't use any tokens, the protocol cannot be subject to a 51% attack or ransom attack. Immutable X is the first layer 2 solution on Ethereum for NFTs. So there's many layer 2 solutions, but specifically for NFTs, Immutable beat everyone to the game. The difference between a layer 1 and a layer 2 solution is really that a layer 1 solution is a bridge into Ethereum. So essentially it's more expensive with gas fees and everything, but layer 2 eliminates gas fees. There is a slight cost to sending your Ethereum into Immutable X, but nothing compared to the actual gas fees that we've all come to hate. And layer 1s are much slower than layer 2. So when it comes to scalability, this is the perfect solution for an NFT project that is going to scale big and have a lot of NFTs transacting, like Veve. Immutable X is mostly aligned with crypto gaming and crypto gaming NFT companies. Veve, in the nearest future, keeps talking about the Veveverse, where there will be an entire world, whether it's land-based like Sandbox or able to transfer these collectibles into other games. Immutable not only helps this become a reality quicker, but it also already has a growing repertoire of potential partners for Veve. We can see right here, like we have Epics, we have Guild of Guardians, which is a big mobile gaming platform, I believe, that has been blowing up. Gods Unchained, which we just talked about. OpenSea, the largest NFT marketplace out there. Illuvium, which if you haven't heard Illuvium, I know Alex Becker and I think Journey Crypto have talked about it as well. Don't quote me on the Journey Crypto, but I know Alex Becker sure has. I've been signed up on Illuvium, like I registered for a while back. I think probably a month or two ago. This game looks sick. It's gonna be awesome. If you haven't checked it out, I recommend you go register. It's gonna be really cool. And then Super Farm. So Super Farm is an NFT project that has been talked about for, I think now years, or at least hinted at, from Elio Trades, who is a very prominent YouTuber if you haven't checked him out. And he just did a big launch of the first NFTs, I think about a month ago. And he's building out to be like an entire gaming world as well. So really smart cat, really great YouTuber, very much understands blockchain and crypto. And when you look at who they're partnering with and who they know, it's just going to be a bigger ecosystem, a bigger amount of people to work with and know about Veve as a whole. So Immutable X is a very smart move for a number of reasons. And Immutable's roadmap completely aligns with what Veve's trying to do. Like we can see that it goes through all the different sides, but multiverse, metaverse, utopia. I mean, it perfectly aligns with the vision that Veve has. So when it comes to aligning yourself with a company who's going to help you scale and also has a similar goal in mind, Immutable X is the perfect partnership for them. On top of that, Immutable X also boasts its 100% carbon neutral NFT marketplace. This means that every other application, marketplace, or exchange building on the project also being 100% carbon neutral. We've seen this large push towards green crypto. We know that Veve had that carbon neutrality pledge, right? This is a differentiator for all the other NFT projects out there. They're all going to be rushing to have this, this 100% carbon neutral. Veve's already going to be there and working on a chain that's going to be doing the same goal. This was, in my opinion, the right move. And the fact that they chose Immutable, again, is brilliant because think about how many collectibles most of us have. Think about how often the marketplace is working and transacting, and that's just in the collectible environment. Now bring it onto an open marketplace where you can actually mint something and actually actively trade it, or you want to mint multiple things in a gaming world. 1.3 million gas fees saved by trading on Immutable X. This came out in April. So in 1 week, 33,479 Gods Unchained NFT trades took place on Immutable X, and that saved the community more than 1.3 million in gas fees or transaction costs. So when you think about high volume trading on NFTs, which Veve is going to be, this is helping the users. This is helping the buyers and sellers. So this is great for us as already collectible holders. And then when you think about in bulk, one thing to think about for what chain you want to be on, Immutable X's exchange offers the security of the Ethereum mainnet with the added scalable features. Moreover, the exchange protocol supports both ERC 721 and the ERC 1155 Ethereum NFT token standard. So what does that mean? So ER 721 is the standard NFT token standard, right? So basically non-fungible, one way, like I send you something, you can't send it back to me. And then ERC 1155 is batch sending. So right now, like if I wanted to send you a Mermicorno, I would send you one, but what if I wanted to send you a Mermicorno and a Harley Quinn and Batman? I have to go in, send one at a time, right? ERC 1155 allows for batch sending. So this is important in like games like, think about the days like back to Diablo when you would send like a ton of different things or send a ton of different armor all in one go. That's what this will allow as well. So it'll allow for selling an entire collection in one go instead of just piecemealing it. Now, this was a good move as well because Immutable X aligns perfectly with Veve's long-term vision as well. So Robbie Ferguson, who's the co-founder and president of Immutable X, said Immutable's vision essentially is they wanted to make a protocol that can work with every game, whether it's a current crypto gaming project or when like Blizzard and the other large gaming companies are ready to jump in as well without compromising on security and while truly being decentralized. It doesn't make sense to fight with the most used platform for NFTs, Ethereum, and also one of the most used crypto in most people's bags, Ethereum. So instead, they built the first layer 2 for NFTs to get ahead of the competition. And what's great about being able to soon have Veve NFTs in an open marketplace like OpenSea is really like you can mint other collectibles in Terra Virtua Collectica and like a couple others, but there's nothing really quite like Veve in an open marketplace like OpenSea or Rarible so far. So like look at like Batman. I typed in Batman collectible in paying with ETH. Really, there aren't a lot of options, right? Like we got the crypto kitties, like this black and white Batman is going for, half of an Ethereum. These Batman collectibles that someone created are going for 1.5 ETH, a third of an ETH. I mean, this marketplace is dying for something like Veve. Enough about Immutable X. Now I want to talk about the Ron English news. This is exciting because it's really like a first look at the Artist Alley vertical and actually receiving real life collectibles back, as we saw with the one that's coming out where the first 100, I think it is, are going to receive a physical collectible with their actual Veve collectible. Now, addressing who Ron English is. Ron English is a very edgy artist, right? And what's great about hopping into the artist vertical with someone who is already edgy is it'll attract also their following, right? When we look at Twitter, he has 6,900 followers. When we look at artsy.net, he has 8,000 followers alone on there. When we look at Instagram, he has 251,000 followers. I mean, he's a well-known artist. Look at how much his NFTs are selling for back on Nifty Gateway. I mean, they completely sold out. I don't know how many he created, but $100, $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, $26,000 for the Mona Lisa grin. I mean, the guy is killing it. And these are collectibles from him, but remember how stoked we were on the Ultraman 2D posters in our showroom? Imagine having a real artist's artwork in your showroom. Imagine having like a Banksy or something like that in your showroom. What kind of new following do you think that's gonna create? We've already seen how much money people are throwing into Beeple and all of these other major artists who are hopping into the NFT space. Now imagine if they're able to do so with very, very low gas fees. All of this art has been mostly reserved for the incredibly wealthy because of the high amount of ETH associated with it. Immutable X and Veve will help bridge that. Now, the next piece I'm going to talk about is Quidd. I'm not going to speak about their platform, and everyone's covered it highly, so I'm going to be quick about this. But this is good. Competition is fantastic for a nascent emerging space. Uber was big, but then Lyft came along. And Uber's market share only grew bigger. Ethereum was big, but then Cardano, Polkadot, and 20 other competitors came along, and what happened to Ethereum? It's only grown awareness because of them and grown even bigger. Veve is the king of this space. No doubt, corner of the market, we know this. But Quidd and Terra Virtua Collect TVK will keep developing, and that doesn't mean that you can't have a robot in TVK and a sticker collectible in Quidd and a ton of Veve collectibles. They're going to continue to grow in this extremely adolescent space that is the NFT collectibles, which will attract new users to and from competitors. And there will even be more competitors. Like, this is still early. So as the space grows to be inevitably a monster over the next few years, let Quidd bash on Veve. It's good marketing for them, right? Do you think Logan Paul would have ever gotten a fight with Floyd Mayweather if he didn't poke the bear? No. It's smart. Now, on to why you're all presumably here. Price prediction and the roadmap. Let me just say, I don't work for Veve or Ecomi. So this is all my thoughts and speculation, right? However, I do approach this differently from many others on what I know from my experience in crypto and what I do for a living, which is directly working with emerging tech companies to consult and work with them on their growth strategies, product roadmaps, and scaling. With that said, let's address the roadmap that I did before, what went wrong, the new roadmap, and what's changed. So this is the roadmap that I did about 2 months ago, I think it was. And we can see that I scaled it out based on a number of things that Ecomi had shared with us that they had in the works, as well as what had made sense at the time in terms of many factors. I put a couple different growth models together. And at the time, I predicted Ecomi would hit anywhere between 16 cents to 20 cents by September-ish. However, let's go through what happened. Anything in red is what didn't happen in that time frame. And the yellow is it did happen, but it just took longer. So obviously in April and May, what happened was we did see, I think, this amount of drops, but the new exchange that was hinted at, the big announcement just did not even come close to this time frame. The app bandwidth, we kept seeing a lot of issues until roughly about 3 weeks ago. Now it's smooth and it's going great. And real quick, guys, I do want to say, wait through the entire thing. Don't get mad and cancel out of the video because I'm not trying to bag on OMI. And I'm not trying to say it's OMI's fault that my prediction come true. I'll get to that. But I want to highlight a couple things on what happened in this roadmap. The two-factor authentication did come, but again, it was just later in May. The OMI to gem conversion that was talked about this time did not yet happen and still has not yet happened. The marketplace was supposed to open around this time, but had not. I think it started sometime around earlier this month. And then in May to June, we could see that Star Trek, Jurassic Park and Star Trek, they said it was going to happen in Q2. So that could still happen, but I slotted them roughly from May to June, but We did not see that so far, but we could see that coming here in June to July. And interoperability. They kept letting us know about interoperability, but we just didn't have realistically a time frame for it. So a lot of things got pushed back, but I did want to just highlight what my original roadmap was. And of course, the constants change the same before I go into what happened. So what happened? Momentum shift and NFT space. So Ecomi is both a momentum and a value investment. What do I mean by that? It's a value play for most hodlers in the sense that Ecomi started in a bear cycle in 2018, survived, came to fruition this bull cycle, will survive the next bear cycle, and will flourish in the next bull cycle, similar to how Engine and a few other older NFT projects have. But one thing to address is it shoots up with momentum similar to other NFT projects, and you can capitalize on that if you are a swing trader and or switching the projects you invest in every couple days or weeks, which is what we saw in all of the new inexperienced traders who hopped into the crypto market as of roughly March. And that's how meme coins and the shit coins rose to the top. So when I say momentum shift, the NFT space was booming in Q1. But what happened in Q2 is we saw a lot of that money, a lot of the new traders who also influenced a lot of the experienced traders, including myself, to go and look into all these meme coins because they were making insane gains. So the money followed where the money was going. And so it wasn't just Ecomi that was hit, right? And we can actually see, this was the big hype that happened with Ecomi, right? From roughly around the end of February, everyone was starting to come to know about Ecomi and Veve. It was getting spoken about by a couple of, lower but still bigger YouTubers. And then all of a sudden, boom, everyone started talking about it. Like we got, or BitBoy talking about it, Andre Jick, Jason Pizzino, like a bunch of big YouTubers were talking about it. And it became a big momentum play. It built up, and then went all the way to the top. It settled down for a little bit, and then it went up to here, and then Uniswap, and it's been in a downtrend since. Now, this is not exclusive to only Ecomi, because we've been seeing this in most NFT projects as well. Let's look at Unchained. This was highly hyped, and I think it will really do well next cycle, but they have also put back a lot of things that they were going to announce, but it was highly hyped by many YouTubers, and it took a roughly 90% or more haircut from the top of where it was around the end of March. This also happened with Rarible. This also happened with OVR. This even happened with Sandbox and many other projects. In fact, the only one that has still done relatively well or has stayed the most consistent is Decentraland. Engine even took a large dip after it reached an all-time high. The other piece is constant delays. Now, I want to address this because this happens with any big project. Like Ethereum has delayed so many things. Cardano has delayed so many things. Most projects actually do this when they're trying to change the world. The caveat to this is I think Veve and Ecomi actually did make a mistake. They let us know too much what was in the works and would give us actual deadlines. Like this is happening at this point, this is happening at this point, without actually understanding how long some things take. Like interoperability is a big thing, and I don't think they realize that. OMI to gem conversion is a big thing, and they didn't realize that, right? So what happened was they would tell us that all these things were gonna happen, and that momentum slowly started seeing like, okay, well, this is now the second, third, fourth thing that Ecomi's and Veve have said that they're gonna be doing, and they missed the boat. So all of these traders who come in for a momentum swing or were all excited about it, jumped out because they were let down. And those things happened, but at the same time, it set up a lot of investors to essentially think that Ecomi and Veve are just another early NFT project that is talking a big game without the walk to back it up. The third piece is Veve collectibles aren't NFTs yet. A lot of larger influencers in the NFT space won't quite discuss Veve. And my theory is because technically they're not NFTs, right? You can't mint them. You can't actually take them, well, you can take them out of the Veve platform technically, but at the same time, they're collectibles, they're digital collectibles, they're not NFTs yet, but that will change once Immutable X. So I think once they actually are designated as NFTs, a lot of the naysayers won't be able to have this excuse anymore, and a lot of the positive influencers in the NFT space, like Gary Vee and all those, are going to adopt Ecomi and Veve. Uniswap. Oh man. So the Uniswap buildup was amazing. We were all stoked on life about this. This was going to be huge. And then I think it was the day of, or like maybe an hour before that, we found out that you had to wrap your OMI. Everyone was confused. It was a big, cluster, and everyone was very let down, and a lot hopped out because of it. And that was just not executed well. But there's no excuse about it. It was just not done right. And we now know that wrapped OMI is going to be a thing of the past, and we're moving on. But it did have a negative effect. Lack of access. So lack of access, what I mean by that is exchanges, right? We were unable to get Ecomi unless we create an account on Bit4X, which was a whole thing in itself, or Gate.io, or wrap our OMI on Uniswap. It isn't easy to get. And I know that because I've had to hop on calls with friends to show them how to actually use a spot account on Bit4X, and it's definitely time consuming and will actually deflate that hype that many had to go and buy the OMI token. Alts and Bitcoin tanked. This didn't help any alts. A lot of alts actually took anywhere from a 60 to a 70% plus hit from the Bitcoin drop that just happened roughly about a week ago. And Ecomi actually held up pretty okay. I think it took about a 40 to 50% hit and then has rebounded since. And the last piece is I was wrong. I was too close to the project, right? Like I've been in the OMI token, I think since late February. I've been a Veve user since sometime in February. I think I was actually a sub 5,000 or sub 10,000 user, but I was too close to really understand the fact that Veve and Ecomi are not just value plays. It's a momentum play, and that the market had shifted to a momentum-based investor. And so one thing to remind everyone was when I did this price prediction that I said 16 cents to 20 cents, everyone and their brother was saying $1. And I said, I don't think that's possible, and here's why, and I went through it. But unfortunately, momentum didn't work out for us in the long run from all these factors. So now let's address the new roadmap that I updated. So this is the new roadmap, and I'll address what I believe the OMI token will hit this bull cycle. Now, some of you may be mad about this. Some may think I'm too conservative, and some may think that this is still too high. But I believe Ecomi's token will hit somewhere between, at the high, 6 cents to somewhere around 9 cents this bull cycle. 6 cents if Bitcoin has a U-shaped recovery over a month or so, up to possibly 9 cents if it's a V-shaped recovery. Between the two, I'm leaning a bit more towards the 6 cents, unless we see things turn around quicker. So where do I think it'll be the next bull cycle, which I think will probably be sometime around the next Bitcoin halving, as it usually is, so roughly 2024. So 2.5 years to 3 years. The only thing I can do to compare it to how other NFT projects have done in the last bull cycle compared to this one. With that in mind, I believe Ecomi will probably be around 50-ish to 60-ish cents at a high next cycle. As for the roadmap, again, this is speculation, and I've aligned it with a few timelines that Veve has said, and within rough estimates of when we could see a few others. So in May, the Immutable X announcement just came out. Happy to hear that we're leaving GoChain to something that's going to scale better. New exchange announcement. David Yu and everyone has said that we will find this out in May. So David, looking forward to the announcement. We have roughly about 3 to 4 days left as of today, the 27th. Coming into June, I think we'll keep seeing roughly about 4 to 6 more drops every single month. And we know that will scale up once we go into a multi-week drop, which I think they'll probably offset to initially maybe once a month, and then eventually going into a every 2 weeks thing. Star Trek and Jurassic Park drops, NFLPA drops. So they did say in the past that this was coming this quarter. So we have one more month of June in the quarter. So I'm assuming that these won't be delayed, but we'll see. and then the OMI to gem conversion, which we've all been waiting for because this gives us a lot of utility to the coin to all the naysayers. July, 4 to 6 more drops continues. I'm expecting a large exchange, right? So we're waiting for that new exchange, and I think in June is when the actual exchange will go live. The announcement will hopefully happen here in May, according to David Yu, but it will go live hopefully in June. But I'm not expecting a huge exchange. I'm expecting something that has some clout, but is just, again, added access. I think in July is when we'll get something big, like a KuCoin or a Kraken or a Binance, or just something that's larger and more app friendly and wider known. And that's also why I think we'll see a big jump sometime between July and August. We'll also see some new brands coming in. The new digital product launch is something that Reese spoke about during my interview with him. And I don't know what that is necessarily, but again, they have hinted at it quite a bit. The Artist Alley vertical will be in full spin at that time. Again, they spoke about. So that could be when we see a lot more artists hopping in and that broadening out into the marketplace side. We also could see this possibly delayed only because I think the Artist Alley won't come to full fruition until we really get Immutable up and active, because then we have that ability with OpenSea and other marketplaces. And one thing I forgot to add actually right here in July is I believe we'll be seeing a buyback sometime around July or August. Now this is huge because it'll bring a lot of attention. Any major coin that I've seen that does a buyback, it usually rallies the price. It gains awareness and a lot of attention from the crypto space as a whole. Saying that we as investors are buying back part of the supply is a big move, and we know it's coming. And I think it'll be sometime between July and August. In August, 4 to 6 more drops, 1 or 2 more exchanges. They kept saying that there will be roughly about 4 exchanges, so I think we'll see at least 1 or 2 more by August. The Master Collector program will hopefully be, they've been saying roughly around, a couple months, 3 months or so from where we are now. This will create a lot more gamification for the app, which will attract and retain more users. And sometime around this time, I think we'll have the Immutable fully live, and we'll be migrating over our GoChain tokens to Immutable. And one thing about that as well I wanted to add was, when you think about the fact that we're buying all these tokens on GoChain, once it is fully converted, there will be a new set of investors who will just be waiting for it to become live on Immutable and then buying it that way and not having to go through migration. So all of these things are why I do think there will be a big jump between July and August. And then come September, I'm hoping for Gem to OMI. I mean, who knows by that point what can happen? Like once we go live on Immutable, there's going to be a lot of moving parts and a lot more awareness to it. But the constants stay the same, with constantly burning tokens, signing new licenses, celebrity influencer adoption, app usability and bandwidth development, user growth. And so this is, again, that 6 cents to roughly 9 cent time frame that I think we'll be at by roughly the end of the bull cycle. So what's changed? Momentum is shifting back, right? Like we've lost momentum, not just in Ecomi, but in the NFT space as a whole. But the good news is the momentum is picking back up for NFTs and green crypto. We've shook out a lot of the meme coins, and they will still be relevant upcoming, but NFTs we're seeing are getting a lot of spotlight again. We can see GameStop quietly announces that it's working on NFTs. This will rally a ton of the Wall Street Bets crew, which I think a lot of them are responsible for a lot of this meme coin hype anyways. But the fact is that they can draw a crowd, build a community fast, or add to our community at least, and they can hype a project like no one's business. Ripple plans to support NFTs on XRP Ledger. We keep seeing more and more of the larger top 10 cryptos hopping into the NFT space. XRP doing so is a big move. And we know Cardano is working with Bondly and also working on their own NFT sides as well. OneOf raises $63 million in seed funding to build music NFT platform on Tezos, another large adopter. So all of these things are happening simultaneously. In the past week, NFT is shifting the momentum back to themselves because we know the space is going to be massive. And now we're about to see the next leg up. And we're starting to see more of the outspoken NFT investors like Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban invests in Ethereum Layer 2 Polygon. He's going to be speaking about it. Everyone's going to start speaking about it again. And a lot of these NFT projects did slate a lot of big launches in summer. So this is good for Ecomi and Veve and the NFT space as a whole. The other piece is everyone now is very much emphasis on green crypto. Elon Musk and Michael Saylor spearhead meeting to address Bitcoin's environmental impact. We know that it all dropped, at least started dropping, with what Elon said about how Bitcoin is dirty and shouldn't be used, so they're taking away from buying Tesla with it. But now there's a focus on green crypto. And so we've seen Cardano and Chia and multiple other green crypto spiking in valuation because of this. And this isn't gonna stop. More and more keep jumping on it. Crypto prices rebound as Musk mulls eco-friendly Bitcoin mining. So this is going to be a big push in tandem with NFTs and everything that we're seeing, right? So what NFT project has a large community, is about to actually be NFTs, and is extremely green? Veve and Immutable X. The next piece is the Veve app is out of beta. These drops have been really smooth now. So when people did hop into Veve, they would hop in and it would get the spinning wheel of death. And they were like, oh, this app is trash. It's not ready. It's terrible. And then they would hop out and sell their OMI. It's been so smooth. It's been great. And we are now seeing it no longer in beta and things are hunky-dory. The other piece is inventory. All these people get all excited. They weren't just wanting to invest in OMI, but they wanted to get their hands on collectibles. And at that time, when we were actually at that peak momentum, everything was sold out. And the marketplace was shut down. You have to think back to that time frame. There was no way to actually get collectibles besides going on eBay and basically buying black market Veve collectibles. So they get all hyped up and come to an app that they downloaded with no ability to buy any. That is no longer the case with a very active marketplace. Next is mainstream verticals upcoming. We've seen it with Artist Alley. We saw with NFLPA upcoming that it is no longer specific to just the collectible market. We're going to see actual anime coming. We're going to see sports coming. We're going to see artist enabled. This is going to draw a differentiated user base. Multiple exchange listings. We've already touched on that, but the fact that it's going to be easier to actually invest in the OMI token. And Immutable X. We know that we're now going to be on a scalable platform that's going to help Veve create actual NFTs out of the collectibles, while doing so both environmentally friendly and at a low cost. Burning tokens like crazy. That's the tokenomics model that made me fall in love with the project to begin with and why I separated out from the rest of the NFT projects. But we can see Jesus, the boy Jesus Gonzalez, he actually posted the OMI token tracker on Twitter, where we can see that 5 billion OMI has been burned, and we are now 91 days away to reach 10 billion tokens burns. Can't wait for buybacks. Me either, Jesus. Really looking forward to it. Buyback is going to bring a lot of awareness to the OMI token and the OMI to gem utility. A lot have said, what's the utility of the token? What's the utility token? Well, there has been utility token, but this will give a lot more to it in the sense that you can directly buy Veve collectibles with OMI and not have to spend fiat on gems. Marketing and the Robert and Cohen PR. So the marketing has been a big uptick. We've been seeing actual very nice professional releases. They're very hinty towards the collectibles on YouTube. We've seen them on Instagram. We've seen them all kinds of places. And so that has had a big tick up, as well as they're working with one of the top PR firms in the nation to help build out their influencer base, to help build out how they go about these launches and releases, and to capture the mainstream awareness and ultimately more communication from Ecomi and Veve. So I think they've gotten better about not telling us this something big's gonna happen, just wait, and then not delivering or giving us a hard date. But they have been better about actively, staying in contact with us. They've set up now weekly clubhouses. I can't think of another community besides Ecomi and Veve that are actually speaking with us that much. I mean, the fact they're able to get interviews with Reese and Trevor and Dan, I mean, that speaks wonders. And I'm really happy with the way that they engage with us as supporters. So some of you may be angry that I came on here and dropped my prediction down from what it used to be. But the point of my channel is to share my research and thoughts on what crypto projects will be successful and to hopefully provide insight based on fundamentals and deep research in a world that is full of hype and hopium. Ecomi is a great investment for its current price for a short-term investment, but it is a phenomenal long-term investment as well. Veve's collectibles, in my opinion, are even better because we're all securing these before they become NFTs, before you can use them in games and other worlds, and before you even see Veve commercials on TV. Yes, I think that will eventually happen. Most of you invested in Ecomi back in March, less than only 3 months ago. Zoom out, take that in. If you treat Ecomi the same way you do hodling Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, or even stocks, I'm sure you'll be happy with the end result. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you think my price prediction is on the money or off. And let me know if you're still an OMI homie or if you're on the outs. I'm always engaging with you guys in the comments and always happy to actually conversate in those comments with you, even if you have an opposite opinion than my own. Guys, keep me honest and don't be afraid to challenge something if it doesn't make sense to you. Veve and Ecomi's success is so apparent, I welcome you to change my mind. If you found this valuable, please hit the like button so others can see this content and spread the word of what's happening with the Ecomi and Veve community. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, man. Happy trading.